Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Melissa, and I'm here to lead you through chair yoga. So we will practice together for 30 minutes. Just a reminder to listen to your body. If any stretches are not working for you, you may want to skip them, come unmodified. And things that you'll need for your class today is you'll just want to have a chair. So a chair that's at your desk is great. If your chair has wheels, you'll want to put them in the lock position. And if you can lift your chair up and down, you'll just want to take a peek so that you can create 90-degree angle in the legs. So maybe lower the hips a little if they're high, or bring the hips up a bit if they're a little low. So as we move through our class today, I was thinking we could focus on the full body. So we could do a nice full body stretch, and then definitely focusing on those areas that get a little cranky out throughout the workday. So we'll work with our neck, shoulders, wrists, upper back, low back, and we'll get down to the feet as well. So do a nice full body stretch. My favorite thing about this class is all of the stretches that we'll be working with today, you can easily incorporate into your workday. So it's amazing if you have the 30 minutes to come to class, but even if you just have, 20 seconds or 30 seconds, you could do a little rolling of the shoulders, of the neck, and it can offer quite a bit of relief to the body. As we get started today, let's come to the edge of the seat. And that will help you to elongate your spine and also engage the core. Sometimes when we're sitting back into the chair, we can create a bit of a rounding. So this will just help to keep the spine nice and straight. As we begin here, let's work with our shoulders. So we'll take our shoulders up to the ears, create a nice large circle, and then relax your shoulders as you exhale. Take a full breath in, draw the shoulders up, back, and down. And one more time, let's take a nice deep full breath in and a nice deep full breath out. And then just letting the shoulders relax from the ears. We can take some time here, closing the eyes and doing a bit of a centering. So releasing the day so far. And then we'll just try to feel our feet relaxing down into the ground. Feel your knees in line with your heel. Feel your knees in line with your hips. And feel the shoulders are over the hips. We just don't want to be leaning forward or back too much. Create a bit of a sensation of engaging the core. So we'll feel our tailbone tuck and feel the navel move back and up to the spine slightly. Create that line of energy that flows through the back of the neck. So really lengthening the back of the neck. Giving a gentle tuck to your chin. And then trying to reach and stretch through the crown of the head. Allow yourself to connect with your breath here for a moment. Taking a few deep full breaths in and out. If you'd like, set an intention for your class. And intention could be anything. It might be that you want to give yourself this time to relax, to practice self-care. It might be that you're holding tension in a particular area and you want to release that. Take a moment to draw your chin to your chest. Lengthen the back of the neck. And then taking your gaze up to the sky. So we'll just gently relax our head back, take your gaze up. And chin to your chest, head relaxes. Forward and back, let's go one more time back and one more time forward. Coming back on through to stillness here, let's take that right ear to the right shoulder. Float yourself back to center. Let's take left to left. And 2 times on each side. So as you're moving through these stretches, just simply notice how your neck feels. So the neck is a very common place to hold tension. Let's come back to center. We'll realign here, gaze off your right shoulder. So just finding that neutral neck, then taking your gaze to the right. Come back to center, realign, and gaze to the left. And then let's begin to flow side to side here. Nice twisting of the neck. Good. Let's bring ourselves back to center. We'll realign here. Circling the head a bit. So maybe imagine that there was a clock in front of you and you wanted to run your nose through the numbers of the clock. And circle in the other direction. We'll reverse that movement. Great. Let's take ourselves to neutral here. Hands to the sky. Nice deep full breath in. Let's bring our hands into steeple. So fingers will interlock and then release the index fingers. So we'll take a nice full breath here to lengthen. And a little shifting to the right and the left here. So we'll just do a wiggle here on the base. And giving yourself that opportunity to pause and release your hands to the left. And maybe create a little sensation like that left hand could pull your right hand to the left side of the room. We'll bring ourselves back to center, realign here, nice full breath to lengthen, and hands to the right. And then just feel that right hand almost pulling you off towards the right. Good. Let's come back to center here. We'll take our arms out into a T position. Now, imagining from the hips down that you are in concrete, so we're just going to try to create a little bit of a spinal movement. So let's begin to take our left hand to the left, and we're just going to reach and stretch. Maybe imagine that you could reach over a countertop. We'll come back to center, and let's reach off towards the right. Try to reach. And let's just go side to side here. So reaching and stretching through the fingertips, but feeling so grounded in your sitting bones. Good. Let's bring ourselves back to center. We are going to realign the shoulders right over the hips. Take your hands to the sky, hands in line with your shoulders, and begin to circle out through the wrists. So as we're circling the wrists, we're going to gently lower the hands down towards the ground. And then once your hands can't lower any further, let's begin to reverse. We're just going to float the hands in the other direction. And reverse, float it down. Reverse, float it up. And let it float down. Good. Now, as your hands relax down, we're going to have our palms facing in towards us. And we'll imagine that we have paint on the tops of our hands. And we'll try to create the sensation like we could paint the walls, where you're going to have your fingertips pointing down. So you want to paint the walls with the tops of your hands. And then we're going to flip our hands up. And then we're going to imagine there was paint on our palms. And then we're going to imagine that we could paint the walls as we come down. And we're going to really try to do the stretch to the best of our ability. So when you're doing this, really try to draw your fingertips and your palms in towards your body so that you're getting a really good stretch on the top of your hands. And then flip the palms over. Imagine that you could paint the walls with your palms. So really try to take your fingertips and almost like you're trying to pull them in towards your body a little bit. So really try to give yourself that opposite stretch here. Good. Paint the walls with the backs of the hands. Good. Let those wrists open a bit here. Really try to pull your fingertips in towards your body. Great. Let's go again. Reach and stretch up. And lower. So it's always really important to give the wrists a bit of attention. I know they do so much for us through the day at the computer typing and, being on the phone so much that they really get quite a beating throughout the day. So it's always good to give them a little TLC. Great. Let's bring our hands together. Fingers will interlock, palms will touch and circle out through the wrists. And as you're circling, you might just feel more mobility in the wrist now that we brought some circulation, got the blood flowing to the fingertips, maybe a bit more open now. And we will circle in the other direction. And shake it out. Great. Let's take our hands right and up in line with our shoulders. Now, working with the wrists again, let's take our left hand and we'll have our left hand facing up. So the palm is facing up, and then our right hand, the palm is facing down towards our head. And we're going to try to reach and stretch in opposite directions. So your left palm, you're trying to reach and stretch it to the sky. And then your right palm, you're trying to reach and stretch it down towards your head. Good. Now let's switch it up. We'll take the right palm, reach and stretch to the sky. Left palm reaches and stretches down to the head. And really try to activate those arms. And this might look like an easy stretch, but you can make it so challenging by really using your energy. Try to pull your hands down towards your head. And then really try to reach and stretch up as well. Good. And then we're just going to go side to side, almost like a little windshield wipe. Good, and release. We can give that a nice little shake out. Let's work a bit with our legs. So for this one, you may want to scoot to the edge of the seat as far as you can to help elongate the spine. Let's bring our feet out nice and wide. We are going to drop our knees off towards the left. Working with a knee down warrior as we begin here. So for our knee down warrior, let's have our left knee creating a 90-degree angle. And then right leg as well. So we'll have our hip in line with knee, knee in line with heel, and then same alignment here. So feel free to hold onto the chair if needed. If you'd like, you can bring your hands right on up to the sky. So our knee down warrior, let's try to create a little sensation of squaring your hips and your shoulders to the left side of the room. Feel free to grab onto the chair. We'll try crescent from here. It's a nice, easy transition. So what you'll do is you'll just begin to straighten your right leg behind you. Now, the hip doesn't need to be in line with your heel. You don't have to have a straight line back. Feel free to come out and create a little diagonal here. So we'll just begin to press our heel out. We'll press out through the back of our knee. And hands can reach and stretch to the sky when you're ready. This pose is really great for giving you a nice calf stretch and a nice hamstring stretch. This one can also be good for your quad as well. So we can get into our quad, we can get into our hip flexor, our psoas. So all of these muscles shorten when we're sitting throughout the day. So giving them a nice stretch is so beneficial. Let's begin to release. We'll try out a warrior one pose from here. So right foot can hop off towards the right. Again, so your heel doesn't need to be in your hip. Feel free to bring that off to the side of the room, almost like you could aim that foot to the corner of the room, just so that you have a little bit more space and it can be a bit more gentle on your knee. Hands to the sky if you'd like. You always have that option to hold onto the chair. Now let's make sure that the core is working here. Engage your core. Feel your tailbone tuck. Feel your navel move back. and up to the spine a little bit. Coming into warrior two from here. So for this one, we may have to open up and transition a little bit. So for this one, our body will try to square to the right side of the room. So you'll have your left toes pointing forward and this left foot can move to the right a bit if it's needed. And then this right leg is at an angle as well, but we do want our back foot to be straight with the back wall. And our hands will come up into T, shoulders will be over your hips. And on this one, try to create a little sensation of squaring your hips and your shoulders off to the right side of the room. So you get this nice opening in the side of your body. And then try to relax your shoulders away from your ears. Let's take reverse warrior two pose, peaceful warrior. So our left hand will reach up and back. Have your left palm face down towards the ground. And then your right hand can glide down your right leg. And we'll give ourselves a nice deep full breath in and out here. Coming up to center, we'll realign. Left arm to the left leg. We can also bring our hand down to the ground if we'd like as well. So that would be an extended lateral angle. And trying not to collapse into the bottom shoulder, try to create a lift, little bit of lifting here and a little bit of lengthening here. Good, let's float ourselves back on up. Feel free to grab onto your chair. Feet can come out nice and wide. Windshield right your knees to the right and the left. So as we're doing this, just make sure that your toes are moving in the same direction as your knees. You don't want toes in one direction and knees in the other direction. Good, let's give that a try on the other side. Nice little warrior flow in the chair. So our knees will drop to the right. Let's take that opportunity to take a 90-degree angle in your right leg and 90-degree angle in your left leg. Grabbing onto your chair if you'd like, maybe hands to the sky as you breathe in. Feel your shoulders relax away from the ears. Create a little bit of space here between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down your back. Coming into a crescent warrior from here. So left foot back. Try to be right on the toes of your left foot so that the majority of your foot is lifted. Pressing out through the heel and the back of the knee. Hands to the sky, breathing here. Feel the arms really active. Feel your arms frame your ears. Fingers are active. Let's reach and stretch through the fingertips. Trying out our warrior one pose, left foot to the left. Have your back heel grounded down. Back foot at that 45-degree angle and having the leg off to the side of the room. Hands to the sky, breathing in. And then as you're aligning here, let's try to breathe into our stomach. Take the breath from your stomach into the ribs and then up to the chest. A nice 3-part breath for relaxation. Coming into warrior two, let's open it up. Again, sometimes scooting right to the edge of your seat can give you a little bit more space in the poses. So we want our right foot to be pointing straight forward and your foot doesn't have to be in line with your hip. It's okay for your foot to be off towards the left a bit. And then your left leg can be off towards the left at an angle, but we do want to make sure that our back foot is straight with our back wall here. We'll take arms up into T, one hand forward and back. And imagine that you could just reach and touch your fingertips forward and back. So arms are just so active, engaged, and energized. Let's take reverse, float it up and float it back. Feel the palm of your right hand facing down towards the mat, down towards the ground rather. And we'll just get this wonderful stretch into the ribs. So all of those little intercostal muscles, they can get a great little stretch on this one. Coming back to warrior two, let's try out our lateral angle. Extended lateral angle if you'd like to go there. So maybe lower that hand down. And whichever variation you're working with, almost create a little twisting sensation. So we want to feel this left shoulder and hand open, our right shoulder and arm roll under a tiny bit. And just feel this nice broadening through the collarbones, this opening in the chest and the heart space. Core engages. Let's bring ourselves back on up. We'll reset into warrior two pose. Relaxing your hands down. Let's bring our feet in line with our hips. Then we can take them out a bit wider. And then we'll just do our windshield wipe to the right and to the left and flowing side to side. Good. Let's come on up out of the chair. That'll be a nice little reset for our body. So as we start here, feet come out nice and wide. We'll do a windshield wipe side to side, taking ourselves into empty coat sleeves. This is just such a wonderful reset for your body. And then as you come into stillness here, let's grab onto our chair. We can do a bit of stretching with our chair. And we're going to access the seat today. So if you need to adjust your chair, you can do that. So as we begin, let's try out some mini Sun Salutation A. So this is just a wonderful opportunity to move with your breath. And anytime we connect our breath and movement, it really helps us to come to the present moment. So it's just this very nice centering practice. Feet are in line with your hips. Let's bring our hands to the sky, breathing in. We'll fold ourselves down, breathing out. We'll take a half lift here. So we'll create a bit of a back bend, lifting the spine and lengthening the spine. Rounding through the spine, let's float ourselves back on up to standing mountain. And then hands at the heart as you exhale. Good. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, lift the spine and lengthen the spine. Exhale, let's do our folding and rounding. We're going to come back on up to stand. Inhale, hands are going to reach and stretch to the sky. And then hands at the heart as you exhale. Full breath in. Let's reach up and stretch up. Folding yourself down. Lifting the spine and lengthening through the spine. Let's do a little rounding of the spine. Float yourself to stand. Full breath in. Hands at the heart. Full breath out. Great. Let's just try with me cueing the inhales and exhales. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Great. Let's take our hands to the sky. Breathe in and fold it down. Now, as we take our fold, let's shake it out a little bit here. So it may feel nice to bend one knee, to bend the other knee, and relax your head, yes, and relax your head, no. As you come to stillness here, let's have a deep bend in the knees. We'll work a little bit with a cat and a dog stretch for the spine. So a nice spinal stretch. So we'll lower the stomach, lift up the heart. Rounding through the spine, try to relax your head, relax the neck. Lower your stomach, lift up through the heart. Tailbone lowers, crown of the head lowers. And then just flow with the breath for a moment. Lengthen your spine as you inhale. Lengthen your spine as you exhale. As you inhale, feel your shoulders relax from your ears. Create a little bit of space between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down your back. On the exhale, really rounding your back. So imagining creating space between the shoulder blades. Coming into a neutral spine here. Let's walk the hands off to the right. Ground evenly through both of your feet, inside and outside of each foot. Come back to center. We'll realign here. Hands to the other side. Reaching and stretching from the waist. Lengthen the side body, the arm, the fingertips. We'll float ourselves back on through to center. Let's try out a twist here. So we'll start by taking a nice deep bend in the right knee. Right hand will plant. Let's take our left hand to the sky. So this is a nice open twist, might feel a little easy. So with our twist, try to roll that right shoulder back, left shoulder under, heart is shining to the sky. We'll take ourselves back to center. So let's keep our legs exactly how they are. Let's take that left hand to the sky on exhale, twist. We have our left knee bent and we'll have our left hand rising up. Try to stack the shoulders here. So we'll try to feel our shoulders in line, wrists in one line. Float yourself back to center. We'll realign to a fold. And bending into that right knee, let's take our right hand down, left hand rises when you're ready. So this is back into our open twist here. This one also gives us a wonderful IT band stretch. Look at that nice stretch on the left leg. We'll come back on through to center, realigning here. Keep your legs exactly how they are. Right hand rises. We have our right knee bent, right hand to the sky. So this is our closed twist. This one might be a little bit trickier to come into. And release. Let's bring ourselves back on through to center to a forward fold. Lower your stomach down. Let's lift up in our heart space and we'll bring ourselves up to stand. Nice full breath in, rising up, and hands at the heart as you breathe out. Great. Let's try out a little bit of a quad stretch. So for this one, if you'd like, you can come to the chair so you have a bit of support, and we'll take our left hand for our left foot as we begin. And we're just going to hold this one. And if the balance is feeling pretty strong, maybe step away from the chair. So on this one, if you grab on the outside of the foot, that tends to be a gentler stretch on your shoulder. If you'd like more of a shoulder stretch, you can grab on the inside of your foot. And on this one, we are really taking this opportunity to open up our quad, get all the stretching for the front of our hip, which is so good, so important, so balancing to do for our body. Nice deep full breath in and out. And let's try that on the other side. We'll take our left foot down, right hand to right foot. And if you're not holding onto the chair, it's always really helpful in balancing poses to find a drishti, to find one spot to focus your concentration, to focus your awareness. And once you find that spot, not letting the eye shift at all. Let's begin to release that one. So we're just going to give it a bit of a shake out your legs, and we'll just give our feet a nice little shake out. Let's take our feet in line with our hips. Hands can reach and stretch to the sky. Bringing your hands at your hearts as you exhale. Full breath in, reach up and stretch up. And release. And let's just go with the breath here for a moment. Let's take a moment to pause, bringing your hands at the heart space as you exhale. Closing the eyes for a moment here. Thanking yourself for practicing yoga today, for doing something so beneficial for your mind, for your body. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today. It's fantastic to be here with you to do a bit of yoga. I hope you enjoyed class, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.
Okay, thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.